Imagine for a moment that you are the absolute perfect candidate. On paper, you are a unicorn. You speak Farsi, Russian, and Mandarin fluently. You have an IQ that rivals quantum physicists. You can run a marathon in under 3 hours. And you have the technical skills to bypass a corporate firewall before you even finished your morning coffee. You have breezed through the grueling physical endurance tests, you have outsmarted the psychological evaluators, and your background check came back cleaner than a sterile laboratory. The job you have dreamed of since you were a child, becoming a field operative for the Central Intelligence Agency, is sitting right there within your grasp. It is the pinnacle of tradecraft, the ultimate badge of honor. But then, in the final interview, the atmosphere shifts. The recruiter, a stoic individual who looks like they haven't smiled since the Cold War, reaches across the metal table, picks up your smartphone, and swipes the screen exactly once. They turn the device toward you, pointing a finger at a single, colorful, pulsating icon. They ask a simple question: why is this installed on your device? You stumble. You make a joke about funny cat videos or a trending dance challenge. The recruiter doesn't laugh. They slide a rejection form across the table. You are out. Done. You have been disqualified, not because of a lack of patriotism, not because of a physical defect, but because of a vibrating note icon on your home screen. To the average person, this sounds absurd, it sounds like boomer paranoia, but to the CIA, that app is not a social network. It is not a platform for creativity. It is widely considered within the intelligence community to be the most sophisticated, widespread, and socially accepted biometric and behavioral surveillance tool ever deployed on civilian hardware. You need to understand that the agency does not care if you like to lip sync to pop songs in your bedroom. They do not care about your cringeworthy comedic skits. The problem is far deeper, invisible, and frankly, terrifying. The problem is that to be a spy, to be a true operative, you must be a ghost. You must be able to slip into the background noise of the world. And Chikitoki is fundamentally a machine designed to hunt ghosts. We have to stop looking at this application as entertainment and start looking at it through the lens of when you mindlessly tap agree on those terms of service that nobody reads. You are not just giving an app permission to use your camera. You are handing over the master key to your digital castle. The application harvests information about your device's hardware ID, the other applications you have installed, your keystroke rhythms, the unique angle at which you hold your phone, the battery usage patterns that reveal your sleep cycle, and most critically, your precise geolocation history. Now, place yourself in the shoes of a deep cover operative. You are stationed in a hostile nation. Your safety and the safety of your assets depends entirely on your ability to remain undetected. But in your pocket, you are carrying a device that is constantly beaconing signals that verify not only where you are, but exactly who you are. This is where the geopolitical reality crashes into your digital life. We have to talk about the elephant in the room, ByteDance. The parent company of TikTok is headquartered in Beijing. In the West, we are used to a legal framework where private companies can, and often do, fight back against government requests for data. Apple has fought the FBI. Google has fought the Department of Justice. There is a legal separation, however thin, between the corporate boardroom and the state situation room. In China, that separation does not exist in the same way. The National Intelligence Law, passed in 2017, explicitly mandates that all Chinese organizations and citizens must support, assist, and cooperate with national intelligence work. This is not a request. It is a legal obligation. If the state security apparatus demands data, ByteDance does not have the legal mechanism to say no. Now, visualize the nightmare scenario for the CIA. An intelligence officer uses the app. The algorithm, which is terrifyingly accurate, begins to map the pattern of life of this individual. It knows where they sleep, so it knows their home address. It knows where they spend their days, so it knows their cover job. It detects anomalies, sudden trips to unmarked locations at 3 a.m., meetings in parks without digital devices present, travel patterns that do not match a civilian profile. If you cross-reference this geolocation data with other users, Foreign intelligence services can map entire networks. If you and 10 of your colleagues all have this app, and all 10 of your phones converge on a nondescript office building in Northern Virginia every weekday at 8 o'clock hours, congratulations! You've just revealed the location of a CIA black site or a safe house without ever taking a single photograph. You have burned your entire team simply by commuting to work. But the rabbit hole goes deeper than just GPS coordinates. We need to talk about the psychology of espionage, specifically the concept of mice, money, ideology, coercion, and ego. These are the 4 levers used to recruit spies or turn agents. The most powerful one is often coercion or blackmail. The CIA operates on secrets. The best way to control a human being is to know their secrets before they are ready to share them. The TikTok algorithm is designed to understand your psychology better than you understand yourself. It monitors how long you hover over a video, what you search for when you are sad, what triggers your anger, and what stimulates your dopamine receptors. Over time, this builds a shadow profile. If an agent has online behavior that suggests gambling addiction, marital infidelity, closeted sexual preferences in a repressive country, or massive financial debt, the algorithm knows, for a rival intelligence agency, this data is pure gold. They do not need to interrogate you. They just need to look at your algorithmic feed. They can approach an operative and say, "We know what you have been doing, and we will keep it secret from your superiors and your family, but only if you leave this USB drive in a specific location tomorrow." This is not science fiction paranoia. This is basic counterintelligence. This is how assets are compromised in the modern world. Many people try to argue, saying, "I would just use a burner phone," or "I would use a fake account." This reveals a fundamental misunderstanding of modern surveillance. We live in the age of device fingerprinting. Technology can now link different devices to the same human identity based on behavioral biometrics, the speed at which you type, the vocabulary you use, the specific Wi-Fi networks you connect to, and even the unique way your voice resonates in a room. You cannot hide from a system that measures you on a biometric level. The CIA does not ban TikTok because they are old-fashioned bureaucrats who don't understand Gen Z humor. They ban it because, in the world of espionage, data is ammunition. Having that application on your phone is the tactical equivalent of walking through a dark battlefield with a neon target painted on your back, screaming your coordinates to the enemy artillery. To survive in this environment, you cannot just be a passive user of technology. You have to understand how the machine works. You have to understand what happens under the hood. You need to know how data packets are transferred, how vulnerabilities are exploited, and how systems are secured. You cannot protect yourself, let alone your country, if you do not understand the language of the adversary. And this brings us to the most critical realization of your career. If you are serious about privacy, about security, or about operating at a high level, whether in intelligence or just in the corporate world, need to shift your mindset from consumer to engineer. You need to stop looking at screens and start looking at code. This is exactly why I always recommend The Hacker's Blueprint. It is not just a book or a course. It is a fundamental shift in how you view the digital world. It is a 3-in-1 bundle designed to take you from zero to dangerous. It starts with Python 3, teaching you the logic of automation and scripting, which is the backbone of how these data harvesting algorithms function. It moves into ethical hacking, teaching you the offensive mindset, how attackers gather information, how they fingerprint devices, and how they exploit weaknesses. And finally, it covers cybersecurity, giving you the defensive architecture needed to lock down your digital life and protect the assets that matter. The CIA rejects candidates who are liabilities. A liability is someone who uses technology blindly. An asset is someone who understands the architecture of the system. The Hacker's Blueprint is your bridge to becoming an asset. It gives you the technical depth to understand why a harmless-looking app is actually a surveillance weapon. It allows you to see the matrix behind the interface. If you want to work in the shadows, you cannot live under the spotlight of an algorithm that sees everything. You have to make a binary choice. You can have the internet fame, the dopamine hits, and the viral videos. Or You can have the badge, the clearance, and the mission. You cannot have both. If you are ready to stop being a target and start being a master of the system, check the hacker's blueprint. Learn the code, secure your future, and delete the spy. The agency is waiting for the ones who know how to stay invisible.